What have I said? What have I said, ladies and gentlemen? Notre Dame's getting everybody. That's Is that what I've been saying? The Fighting Irish staff absolutely cooking on the recruiting trail. Absolutely cooking. Commitment today. Ian Premer, the number 24 overall player, number 3 tight end in America per On3. I've been using more of On3's rankings this week because that industry ranking, which uses all 4 of the websites, is about to get a huge shakeup next week when Rivals rankings go dead. And then what you see for On3, just change the name to Rivals, and that's going to be it. Rivals rankings, in my opinion, are not very good. Respect the people who do them, but not very good. Anyways, Ian Premer. I mean, Ryan says Singer called it. Not necessarily. I was talking to a Notre Dame source today about Premer. And we're like, of the 12 uncommitted targets that Notre Dame hosted in June, now 6 of them committed, by the way. That's half. Talked about this week, and I've written about it too. Notre Dame under Marcus Freeman has landed 40%. He averages 40% of uncommitted visitors, official visitors in June, just the month of June. That's OV season. 40% commit. Notre Dame's already at 50%, and they're not done yet. Anyways, Primer specifically talking to Notre Dame source. Of the 12, this is the one that my sources felt the least good about. The least. Hoodie Singer is here, Daniel. He's here. Guys, Notre Dame, I think, is about to go 11 for 12. Who are these guys? Let's go through this. So these are the official visitors that Notre Dame's had. Right? Dunham's a commit, Ebenezer's a commit. I think it was like 28. Math is hard. It's like 30 something visitors. I don't know. 6 plus 1? So 28. 28 total official visitors. 16 of them were already committed to Notre Dame. Right? 12 uncommitted. They already landed Joey O'Brien, Kari Adams, Grayson McHugh, Preston Frizel, and now, of course, Ian Premer, and then Charlie Tom. So that's what? 6 of the 12? And then you have upcoming announcements from guys like Caden Finley. You can read my reporting at blueandgold.com, what I feel there. Upcoming announcement from a guy like Braden Robinson. You can read my reporting last night, blueandgold.com. And Devin Fitzgerald, Larry Fitzgerald's on blueandgold.com last night. Plus Nick Reddish. So of the uncommitted guys that they hosted in June, they're getting everybody. And tight end Evan Jacobson as well. He's going to be, one to watch. 3 tight ends? Could they take 3 tight ends? It's possible. It's possible. I'll have an article about that Blue and Gold tonight. I'm going to be burning the midnight oil. I recorded a video with Tim Hyde talking about Ian Premer's commitment, and then I got to finish up another article. So this show, I don't know how long it's going to be, 30, 45 hour, I don't know. But I got some more work to do. Notre Dame legitimately could land 11 out of the 12. Tim just texted me this. Tim just texted me his dishes. Look at this. He said, "Have a good show. I'll listen to the replay with buddies and the sync in and out." Sam, I love you, bro. Folks, Notre Dame cleaning up on the recruiting trail. I'm going to do my best to read the YouTube comments tonight, but we are also taking calls, and I only have one caller queued up, and it's Swan Dong. To call into the show, it's 605-313-5550. Call in now, because later on in the show, I feel like I get so many calls, and then I'm not going to sit here all night and take calls. So call in now if you want to chat. Make sure you use the access code 504-9450. If you get some kind of error, I promise it's on you. It works. You just have to type it in right. Just reading the chat real quick. Tay Green says Coach Biven did a really good job. Hello, Tay Green. Hi. Text me back. Just reading the chat real quick, and then we're going to take Swan Dong. Joseph Patrick says incredible class. You know what? I agree. Mr. Patrick. Good reviews about another person with the last name Patrick at the Rivals 5-Star Challenge this week, by the way. Heard he got a bloody nose, but looked good. Yeah. What's going on? Singer looked like he's about to deliver some crazy. Okay, Squilliam. All right. Swan Dong, what's going on, brother? What's going on? First of all, in the chat, can you guys let me know if you can hear Swan Dong? But go ahead, buddy. Appreciate you noticing, Swan Dong. What's on your mind, brother? Oh, hold on. They say they can't hear you. Okay, so that's on me. That's on me. Give me a second. Okay. Let's okay. Okay. All right.
Is it working
all right, they can hear you now. That was on me. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Swan Dong, you're on the line. Swan Dong, do you have anything to say, brother?
Oh no, I just was gonna keep it brief. I'm about 8 White Claws deep right now, so I'll keep it brief. It looks like we're doing really good in recruiting and everything, and I'm happy to be on the IB boards and I said IB, but I'm fucking retarded. On the blue and gold boards and everything. So thanks for promoting that and everything, and we're getting motherfucking everybody. So have a good one, man.
Bro said what? Oh, I can't believe you just said that. 440. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Hey, I'm Dylan from Cleveland, Ohio. How you doing?
What's up, Dylan? How are you, brother?
Good. Hey, Mike. So I'm a big believer in Noah Grubbs, but most recruiting sites have him lower ranks. So where do you think we go with the 2027 quarterback? Do we shoot for the stars with this guy or what?
You said this was Dylan from Ohio?
Yeah.
Okay. Dylan from Ohio. No, I got you saved next time. Yeah, Grubbs is a really solid quarterback. Fantastic arm. Played very high level at the high school level. I'm excited about Grubbs' potential. 27. You saw the 2 new offers they just put out the other day?
I did.
Yeah. I mean, you can land one of those 2 guys, great. But if I'm Gino Guidugli and it's, a couple months in after offering these guys and, not a ton of traction or just not feeling as good, whatever the case is, I'm offering a little bit more. I'm offering a couple more guys. And I think
that's what, not to interrupt you, but that's what I'm saying. It's been a couple of years now since we've landed, that top tier 5-star quarterback. I know Dante Moore was probably the last guy. Well, last year too. But
Say his name.
you know,
Just invoke the name. Say it.
No, I don't want to
Just
say
say
that
it.
LSU. No, I'm not gonna say it. You know who I'm talking about.
Say the name.
I'm kind of having a brain fart right now too.
Oh, it's Deuce. It's Deuce Knight.
Deuce Knight, yeah. But yeah, so I'm hoping 2027. You know,
Yeah.
let's go for it. Get that guy.
Yeah, I think Peyton Houston is going to be pretty difficult one to land. He's shorter, but the kid is freaking electric, and he's got a rocket arm, and he's an outstanding prospect. Teddy Gerard, the one from Georgia that they just offered. So those are the two, Peyton and Teddy. And Teddy lit it up at the 5-star challenge. Like he's got some CJ Carr, that's who he reminds me of. But I think this kid's just got a little bit more explosiveness to his game. Just watching his sophomore tape, this kid is legit. Obviously, he loves CJ as a prospect, but Teddy, I think, is going to be shooting up the rankings. Teddy is awesome.
Yeah, he just performed well at his recent outing, didn't he?
Yeah, the Rebels 5-star challenge. Yeah, he looked awesome. So, yeah, and then if you don't, I mean, Israel Abrams is the one that I would really keep an eye on moving forward.
That's kind of my guy, top of the board.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm an amateur, spectator, but he's the one that I would say, give him a shot.
Yeah, him, Malachi Ziegler from Louisiana, and Keegan Croucher. I believe he lives in New York, but he goes to school in Connecticut. That would be my next group if I was in charge. And I want you guys to remember that.
All right.
Because that would be my group. I'm curious to see. I do feel like Notre Dame's going to offer some more guys. Because Teddy told me that he could decide before his junior season, but if he's not ready, he's going to take it after his junior season, which tells me that if he's not ready, then he doesn't want to mess around with a commitment and distraction during his football season. Dylan, appreciate you calling in, brother.
Hey, real quick.
What's up?
So I have to ask, our classes for 26 is pretty much set in stone, waiting on a couple of guys that I think we're going to get. So from there on, do you think that once the class is set, then we poach, a top tier talent from another school?
From what I know about covering recruiting for a decade is that sometimes the coaches and recruiting staffers, if their class is like full from what we know, like guys like me are telling you, like, yeah, it's just like this one more position, then they're done. Sometimes I feel like they get bored or they just want to expand it, or this guy, got injured or he's leaving, and they have more room now. So I would always expect some kind of unexpected flip like that.
Well, it's definitely been the year of expect the unexpected. Hey, thanks, Mike. I appreciate it.
All right, Dylan. Thanks, brother. Yeah, he did, Joseph. Yeah. Man, great people we have in here today. So could everyone hear Mr. Dylan there? Someone just said can't hear, but I'm guessing they are a little bit behind. The whole the Unabomber thing is it's out of pocket. It's out of pocket, guys. I get that every single time I do this, and I don't appreciate it. It is what it is. Okay. Let's go to 805. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Hey, Mike. My name is Jim. I'm calling from California.
Okay. What's going on, Jim?
Hey, I don't really have a recruiting question, but I just wanted to thank you and all the blue and gold guys. Just really love your content. And then a couple things. Would love to see Goolsby back someday, if that's possible.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, I have an idea, a question for you and Tim Hyde.
Okay.
And the question is about offensive line play.
Oh, Tim
You
loves
know,
that.
okay, yeah, I was thinking. And so, can you tell me, or a question would be, does the right side or the left side, do you look for different types of people there? You know, would one player be better at right tackle than left tackle, for example? And then the other question is this: I just don't understand why we can't play more guys. And do you remember back in a few years ago, Tommy Kramer and Robert Hainsley? They rotated at right tackle, I believe. And then the next year, they were both ready to be full-time starters. And I would just love, with this depth that we have, that we couldn't have a right guard and a right tackle that would rotate in with the starters. Um, I don't. I just don't understand why we have to have five guys coordinating with each other. I would think that the right guard would have to coordinate with the center and the tackle, but does the right tackle have to coordinate with the left tackle, for example? So those are the kind of questions I think would make a good discussion for you guys.
I'm sure Tim would absolutely love that. And Tim said he was watching. So
Okay.
not live, but Tim will watch. So we will I think that'd be fun to dive into. But your line of questioning, I'll let him speak on it. He was an O-line coach, so like I'll let him speak on some of those things. But yeah, I think you're on the you're on the right line of thinking. So
Okay. Hey, thank you again. Give my best to all the guys there, and looking forward to that discussion down the road.
Jim, so do you just tune into the blue and gold shows? Are you on the message board and the website?
I'm not on the website. I'm an old guy. I'm 75 years old.
Jim,
I've been a
you
Notre
just
Dame
called
fan.
into the show.
I
So the
I know,
age thing
I
is
know,
not an excuse. You know what
I
you're
know.
doing.
Well, I'm just saying I've been a Notre Dame fan longer than you've been alive. I go back to Aaron a long time ago, but I do appreciate all you guys do. I try to catch as much as I can. Typically, I see on YouTube.
Blueandgold.com. I'm telling you, Jim. If you're in California, there's
You
some Notre
know,
Dame fans out there, but
okay.
the website and the
You know
message
what?
board, it's the place to be, brother.
Okay. I don't know if you want to hear this, but I'll tell you. I'll tell you why I'm not on. I was a subscriber to Blue and Gold. Gosh, I don't know how many years ago.
Okay.
And I must have been a subscriber. I started before Holtz, I think.
Okay. So the magazine
And
we're talking, obviously.
and here's the thing. It kind of pissed me off. Can I say that? When I would go to the website and I would have to pay for these additional things, and I was thinking, you know what? I'm a subscriber. Why are you asking me for another $1? Or what the heck it was?
So you said this
So
was around the
that's
Holtz time?
well, it goes back, yeah, long
Okay.
time.
So that was
I
obviously
mean, long.
before the website existed. That would have been just the
You're
magazine.
absolutely correct. I used to get the magazine, and I would get the annual
Yearbook.
magazine, and so I've got a million of them, just like Tim Hyde. I got a million of them still in the basement, kind of thing. So, I was just kind of thinking, you know what, a guy that supported you for 20 years ought to be kind of grandfathered in. So anyway,
how about this?
Okay.
You have my email. It's mike.singer@on3.com.
Okay.
Shoot me an email, and if you sign up, you have a direct line of communication to me. And if they ask you for any other money for your subscription, I'll take care of you. All right.
Okay.
I got a customer,
and
Jim.
again, okay. Yeah. And again, will you thank all the guys
I will.
that you do this with, and I really do appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Jim. Thanks for calling, man.
Thank you. Bye.
I would hear a salesman too. All right, real quick. Let me. He's talking the premium platinum. All right. Regarding, someone asked, Hanson. Is Hanson coming to blue and gold? The cat is out of the bag. So On3 bought Rivals, and decisions being made at each individual market about what is happening. And for Notre Dame, the Inside ND Sports guys, Tyler James and Eric Hansen, are joining blue and gold. So on July 1st, if you type in NotreDame.rivals.com or InsideNDSports.com, it's going to take you to blue and gold. So they are joining us. I hope he doesn't mind me saying this. I had an hour-long conversation with Eric today. Or excuse me, Tyler. I've been texting with Eric. We had a good meeting with him yesterday. Talked to Tyler for an hour today. Really good guy. I like him. I'm pretty excited. Pretty excited. And then someone was asking about Goolsby. Goolsby's we don't do a ton of stuff with Goolsby in the off season, and Goolsby's doing his own thing. Goolsby's great. Love Goolsby. Talked to him on the phone recently. But yeah, we'll get Goolsby on soon enough. All right, we are going to go to 515, and then we'll go to Eeyore after that. Actually, I'm sorry, 515. Before we go to you, we're going to talk about we're going to talk about Augie's Locker Room, where you can get some really unique stuff, folks, like some signed Jeremiah Love. I mean, like, this is one of one stuff, I feel like, right? Where else are you getting this Jeremiah Love signed photo, an 8x10? I mean, this is awesome stuff. Limited Notre Dame football Cooperstown Bear. A Rocket signed Notre Dame football replica helmet. I mean, come on, folks. Augie'sLockerRoom.com. Tell them that Mike from Blue and Gold sent you. Go to the website, Augie'sLockerRoom.com, 574-263. Crap. Hold on. 574-277-6363. Mess it up. Augie'sLockerRoom.com for the online store. And then if there's ever anything that you're looking for in the world of Notre Dame memorabilia, you call Augie and he will hook you up. So Augie'sLockerRoom.com. Great man, great local business. So if you're local, coming to town, whatever the case may be, go to Augie'sLockerRoom.com. All right. Let's see what we got. We're going to... He dipped out. That guy dipped out. I was about to take his call. You know what, Peter Pie? Mike, whatever happened to the last background, Touchdown Jesus was the lead background. Yeah, I got rid of that over a year ago. And that is the first time I have seen someone mention that. It's the first time. First time. But it's gone. It's in the trash. All right, let's go to old Eeyore, Mark with glasses. Mr. Mark with glasses, how are you?
Yeah, I was just asking you about that poster yesterday. Don't you remember?
What's up, Mark?
Oh, I'm calling in from work. I'm eating some good and plenty, listening to the show.
I didn't know you actually had a job, Mark, with how much you do. So on social media, so.
And just wanted to make a quick comment. Hoodie Singer looks about as gangster as the Costco guys.
I look as what as the Costco guys?
You look about as gangster as the Costco guys. Shout out to that last caller. You gotta get that guy a promo code. That guy's a legend.
Jim, was it Jim from California? I could do that. I can definitely do that.
If I had money, I'd pay for that guy's subscription. That's an OG right there. But yeah, about recruiting, I'm excited about the class, and we should have been doing this for a while now. I'm glad it's working out. Getting the best collection of players is definitely a good idea.
It's a great idea. They should have tried that before.
I'm going on record tonight saying Notre Dame's going to win a championship within the next 2 years. I'm calling it now. The vibes are just too damn high, and with this recruiting heater and the off-season momentum, and shout out Carter, Ahmed, and Mike Martin, and this is just going perfectly according to plan. And then with the Finley, Fitzgerald, and Robinson, like the 3 consecutive days, you think that there's anything to that?
I mean, yes and no. When I went to see Finley in April, he had that's where the news initially came out of July 4th commitment. And then so that was 2.5 months ago. That's a long time ago in recruiting. And he was far from making any type of decision at that point. That's just a date he picked. Fitzgerald's had July 5th locked in for a while. And Fitzgerald, to my knowledge, and I put that in the article last night that I hope you read, Fitzgerald moved to July 6th, like unbeknownst to the coaches, if that makes sense. Like the coaches, like the 3 coaching staffs of schools he's considering did not know he was moving it. So it lines up nicely for Notre Dame because I actually like the Irish to land all of them. We'll see, but I do think it's a coincidence that it just happens to be in 3 straight days. July is a very popular commitment month.
Yeah, I was thinking it was like strategic, like they all kind of want to do like consecutive days to kind of.
It could be, and I could be wrong, but Finley's was been 4th for a while. So has Fitzgerald's, and from what I understand, Robinson just kind of impromptu made that call to the 6th, like on his own. We'll see.
Yeah, and then within the 26th class, I kind of see Osborne as kind of being like a guy who's tweeting all over the place and stuff. But have you ever seen anybody like this guy where he's just going at the other prospects and hyping everybody up?
This is hold on, Mark. I'm going to mute you for a second. This is a first. I've never been asked to give a birthday shout out before. Hey, Mike, today is Becca Seitz, Notre Dame's Director of Recruiting Operations' birthday. Can you give her a shout out? Happy birthday, Becca. And how about Taylor Swift in Nashville the other night? That's all I gotta say. That was incredible. Oh, sorry. Mark, what was your question?
Happy birthday to you.
What was your question, Mark? I'm so sorry. Give me the cliff notes to remind me.
I'm talking about Osborne's my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
In this class, I see him all over Twitter.
Dude,
I'm not on Snapchat. I'm a little old for Snapchat.
That's good, Mark. Please don't add the recruits on Snapchat. That's good.
A salesman, and he just seems like he's doing a heck of a job. I don't know if I've ever seen a player do this to this degree.
Yeah. Osborne is great with it. I think Noah Grubbs is doing a good job. Thomas Davis Jr. more behind the scenes, but he's done a great job with the North Carolina guys. And then Dylan Faison, again, not a big social media guy, but Faison, when those kids are on their official visits, like Faison is just like aura. Like the kids just like flock. Like Dylan Faison's like the coolest cat. But yeah, Osborne on the social media, like that is not like a engagement farming thing or anything. Like he just is so excited, fired up. Like Javian Osborne is one of the coolest kids I've ever been able to cover. Like big fan.
Yeah, he's definitely a standout in that regard. And then the kind of mentioned it with the off-season vibes, and it's kind of like when you have to poop, and the closer you get to the toilet, the harder it is to hold it. That's how I kind of feel right now heading into this season.
Thanks for calling, Mark. What is this? What? What did he just say? All right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 callers in queue. We're going to. I just want to actually pull up a tweet real quick. Actually, a message board post. I'm not going to try to pronounce this guy's username, but this was on the loose emoji board the other day. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and like it. Give it its, what was that, 20-second like. And the thread title was, Let's Kill Some Theories. This was this past Friday after Joey O'Brien and Corey Adams committed. These are some, theory/myths, right? This is what happens every June. Things that Notre Dame fans say in the summer. This is what happens every June. I mean, in the past, like Notre Dame kind of falters in June. Not this year. They're getting everybody. What I've been saying, Notre Dame's getting everybody. We're not going to be able to compete with the Oregons of the world for NIL. How about Notre Dame putting Oregon in a locker, slamming it on them for Joey O'Brien and Corey Adams? And by the way, I'm not forgetting Michigan. Just because like Ian Premer didn't take an official to Michigan, I am not dismissing that they wanted Ian Premer. And he's Notre Dame bound. On committed players taking OVs elsewhere, this always ends the same way. He gone. Thomas Davis Jr., he stay. We don't do well with 5 stars. You know what the big myth that really pisses me off is when people comment, which I'm sure now I'm going to say this, we're going to be flooded with these comments, is Mike, when kids commit to Notre Dame, they drop in the rankings. And it's just so dumb. And I feel like people bury their head in the sand and then they just pop up when someone gets a rankings drop. Do Notre Dame commits get dropped? Yes. So does Alabama commits and Ohio State commits and every other school in the country. And guess what? Their commits also move up. People like to just blot out from their memories Charles Jagasaw, Will Black, Emil Wagner. There's one other. Who's the other 5-star? Gerby Lambert. Those 4 offensive linemen who Notre Dame signed in successive classes all went from 4 stars to 5 stars after committing to Notre Dame. Notre Dame gets the 5-star bumps all the time. Jalen Sneed ended up like very close to a 5-star. He was a 5 and then someone else jumped into the top 32 in like March or something. It was like a late after signing day thing. But like these guys bump up all of the freaking time. Grayson McHugh. Go look at Grayson McHugh's On3 profile. Hold on. Let's pull it up. Look at this. You see number 17 offensive tackle right now? Guarantee you he's in the top 10 after he commits to Notre Dame. So don't be just a common dweeb and think, oh, they only drop after they commit to Notre Dame. Some do, some don't. Don't be a dweeb. Okay. Mike, did Ian Premer catch you off guard? Sort of. I thought that he was going to commit very, very soon. That was the buzz, but didn't know how soon. Or excuse me, didn't know which school. Knew he was going to commit soon, but didn't know which school. Kansas State people thought he was going there. And I kind of was like, I mean, Notre Dame feels good. Kansas State feels better. Like, I don't know. The kid was a tough one to read. All right, we are going to Lotus. Lotus, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, Mike?
What's up, man?
I could tell that one caught you off guard because you didn't have a reaction video out like 30 seconds later today.
I did. Yeah, it caught me off guard. I at least had. All right, everyone say bye to my cat. He wants down. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't. I prepped a story, but I didn't have like the full shebang. For sure.
Well, when I'm sitting at work, not actually doing my job, I'm used to looking at YouTube videos like 30 seconds after they're posted and be like, "Oh, Mike already has a video on it." Yeah, fun times. Anyways, what I was going to say is, number one, I have like 5 things to say, so if I get too talkative, just shut me up. Number one, next time you're in Dallas area, like hit us up because I think there's like 5 of us who live in the DFW area. So that'd be fun to kind of hang out.
But I think J Carr does too, so that's going to be a hard pass.
Like in the same neighborhood as me, I think.
All right, maybe I'll go get beers with you, and I'll just wave at him as I drive by his house. How about that?
There you go. We'll just egg his house. And then the last thing I had to say was on the stars issue. Like, I know that you kind of have to give the sarcastic mic voice of the kind of thing, but I really wish a lot more people would calm down on it. Like, some of our best performing people on our team are 3 stars, and it just annoys the crap out of me every time. Everyone's like, "Oh, there's no 5 stars," but Leonard Moore is a 3-star, and Benjamin Morrison was a 3-star, and Joe Alt was a 3-star. Like, who cares? Like, there's still good talent. You just got to trust that the coaches can evaluate right.
Yeah. The counter argument to that is more 4 stars and 5 stars do better than 3 stars, like on a hit rate. But yeah, I mean, some 3, like, you can't just dismiss all 3 stars though. So, yeah, I'm with you for sure. Yeah, Notre Dame signed some really good ones.
You obviously looking like a Unabomber. That's gonna Michigan board's gonna get mad at you, man. That's where Unabomber went to school. So they're gonna see you for trademark infringement.
Anything else, Lotus?
That's it.
All right, thanks for calling in. Oh man, what a show! What a show, folks. If you have not done so yet, please hit the thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content. We are going to Griffin from West Palm Beach after this. If you've called in once, I save your contact, and I know when you're calling in again. It's how I cannot answer some callers, to be completely honest with you. But it is nice to know who is calling in. Yeah, hit the thumbs up if you have not done so yet. After this is over, this show, which could be pretty soon. Oh, the other guy just hung up. I was going to take him next. We will be posting a video with Tim Hyde talking about Ian Premer. What a freaking huge commitment today from Ian Premer. And then I will be finishing up an analysis article on the news. Look at this tweet. All right. I said, I know everyone and their brothers tweeting about Notre Dame's hot streak and incredible 26 class. It's nuts. This is nuts. The class score is a 92.84. I'm not going to dive into what the class score means, but just that's On3's formula of how they grade the class. That is at 92.84. That 92.84 is better than the 2013 class that had a 92.74. That 0.1 is actually, it's not a ton, but that's enough of a margin, right? That class ranked 4 overall. That 92.84 class score would be Notre Dame's best class in the internet era. And this is using the On3 industry ranking, which goes back to 2004. So that's Notre Dame's best class. Potentially, if that holds, like if signing day were today, Notre Dame's best class in 21 years. Yeah. 10 of 22 commits ranking as a 5-star. Excuse me. That's a top 150 player. Very, very exciting. That's a 5-star. All right, Herrick. Herrick, I was going to take your call next, man, but appreciate you calling in. All right, Griffin, you're on the line. What's going on?
What's up, Mike? How you doing?
What's up, Griffin?
Not much. I have 2 questions. My first one is, how do you feel about Peyton Houston and Notre Dame's chances?
I think that it's a highly contested recruitment from the South. Notre Dame's offer is a little bit later, but the Irish have been recruiting him for over a year. Peyton told me that his first time talking with Gino was like right around the time of his spring game, which was his first ever varsity start. This would have been in 2024. I hear really good things from people close to him about where the Irish stand, but it's early. He's going to take this thing into the fall. That's the earliest I could see him commit, and it's going to be a battle. But he goes to a private faith-based school. That's always a good sign. Kid has already visited Notre Dame. Think he'll get back, and Notre Dame will fight. But other than that, I don't really have much for you.
Yeah, I think hopefully Notre Dame gets him because I see a lot of Kyler Murray in him. And I think he would be a really good player in Mike Denbrock's system, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
I agree. Yeah, I mean the height thing is what it is, but it's not like Notre Dame is like, oh wait, he's 5'10". I mean,
Yeah,
trust the system. I mean, the kid's a baller. So, what else, Griffin?
yeah. So I have another question. So, at the end of the cycle, how many players do you think Notre Dame's gonna have as 5 stars?
Good question. I actually covered this with Tim Hyde in the video that will be coming out, so you have to watch that as well because we really dove into it. So Notre Dame's commitment list, right? So the 5-star thing, if we just use, do you just want to use by any website, or how do you kind of want to define a 5-star?
It doesn't really matter, to be honest.
Okay.
Whatever you.
Yeah, let's just say by one of the websites. So Notre Dame already has 2 because Dunham's a 5 by On3 and O'Brien's a 5 by 24/7. Premer's very close already by On3 and 247. Kari is already very close by On3 and 247. Ebenezer is very close by On3, so that's 5 right there. And then the wild card is Grayson McHugh. If he has this like Joe Alt meteoric rise, and I said earlier, it's been 4 consecutive recruiting classes, 22, 3, 4, 5, that Notre Dame's had an offensive line commit go from a 4 to a 5-star. If that's going to happen in this cycle, I think it's Grayson. So he would be the wild card. So right now it's 2. It could potentially go up to 6. I would say, like 4 is probably a good bet. Maybe 3. And that's just according to one of the websites, right? So I think it was KVA's year. KVA was a 5-star by Rivals. Bryce Young was a 5-star by 247, and we had Gerby as a 5-star. So that was 3 5-stars in a class. It just depends on how you define a 5-star. So that is Swan Dunk said, "What number do you need to be a 5-star?" I think it's 97 or 98. I think it's 98.
Yeah, I think it's 98. Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah.
That's crazy, though. Oh my gosh, I don't think I've ever seen a class like this one before.
You sound young, so you definitely have not, my friend.
Yeah.
All right, Griffin, you got anything else, brother?
No,
right.
I'm good. I'll see you in Miami.
If you do see me, you better come up to me, all right?
All right, I got you.
All right, later, brother.
All right, see you.
All right, we are going to... these are the last 2 callers I'm going to take, and then I got some more work to do. We are going to... Dunham was 97 something and a 5-star. Then maybe it's 97. I don't know. How many top 150 players? 10 of the 22 commits rank as top 150 players according to the industry ranking. All right, we're going to 405. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Hey, Mikey, calling in from Arizona. How you doing, man?
What's your name?
Nathan.
Mason.
ND Milton fan.
Sorry, what was the last part you said?
ND Milton fan.
Oh, you haven't called in before?
I called in, I think.
Must be from a different number, though.
To the caller, I think his name was Mark, that compared signing day to going to take a dump. I literally spit my food out of my mouth while listening to that, and I laughed hysterically. So thank you to that gentleman. And Mikey, 1 year, you're at 1 year with your baby, right? How's it going?
8 months. It is the best. It is the best. The whole, you've never known or you've never known what love is until you have a child. You know that whole thing, Mason? People always say.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's 100% true. It's 100% true. It is the absolute best thing in the entire world. I love that girl to death. She's the best. Happy, healthy little girl. She's adorable.
Very cool, man. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
I think with the season, man, I'm just excited, dude. Like I think it's like every turn with Freeman is another like positive, right? So like we make it to the Natty, and I don't think we do that with BK, right? But then he parlays that into one of the most unbelievable recruiting classes, right? Which I also don't think BK is able to do. And so like I'm obviously a negative BK hater. Like I was, an Epic fan is, but it's like somebody had said this recently in a chat or a show or something, like, I don't know if there could have been a more perfect coach for Notre Dame at this time, like the switching in NIL and transfer portal and all these changes. He's navigated really well, but he's also continually working and on the trail and never really given up. And so it's really impressive from a person perspective, but he seems to really grasp like the essence of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And he seems to be just locked in and like laser focused. And it's pretty cool to watch. It's pretty cool when your team has a cool coach, I guess. Like when you're looking at your coach and God, that guy's awesome. And you know that most other teams feel the same way.
Who would you say was the last cool Notre Dame coach before Freeman?
A cool coach. I mean, I think Weiss, other than his recruiting and his development, like I thought Weiss was a good coach. Not cool though. He was like the opposite of cool. I don't know. We've had a cool coach, to be honest.
Jay Patterson said Holtz. Lotus said Ara. Yeah. There's a lot going in Marcus Freeman's favor. I mean, the national title run, some nice plays and opportune times in that Georgia game and Penn State. Like it's just a lot of things have just fallen into place. And I've like what I've heard about like how important high school recruiting is to Marcus Freeman. It's really impressive. Like his initial press conference as Notre Dame head coach, where he said, "I'm going to be the lead recruiter for every recruit." No, I actually interviewed him once for a Blue and Gold story, and afterwards I told him, I was like, "You can't keep up with that," and he kind of laughed because he can't do that. He's got a million things on his plate, so he may not be the lead recruiter for Notre Dame in every recruit like he initially said, but he is very in touch with what Notre Dame is doing and getting on the phone with kids and whatnot, compared to Kelly, there was a recruit a few years ago, one of his last classes, and I was told that he walked by the recruit. They were in the locker room. I think it was during the kid's official visit or something. Maybe it was after a game. I don't know. Kelly and the kid made eye contact, and Kelly just gave him one of these. Just like a little head nod, acknowledge, and just kept walking. The kid's like, "I want to talk to you. I'm a commit here. Like, you're my head coach." Like, what the? Kelly just kind of blew him off. I was like, I could not believe. And this was years ago, and it just stuck with me. I could not believe that. I don't know if Kelly knew who he was.
That doesn't surprise me too much about. I mean, like just watching him on the sidelines and how he treated players, you kind of got a sense of like what he would be like in the locker room, right? Like the the red face, and constantly screaming at kids, and like the stuff he would say to them on the sidelines. And like, there's a video of it. Like, it's like, what? How is any kid gonna look at that and be like, "Oh, that's where I want to go"? And then you see like Freeman yelling at who did he yell at last year? Pretty bad. Two kiddos. I think cornerback or the nickel maybe.
I don't
but
remember.
It was like the way he did it. It didn't look like he was degrading somebody. It looked like he was making a point, and then he got over it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like even the way he does the sideline demeanor, I think matters, because you can't treat a kid like that and expect him to want to play for you. You can't treat any human like that, I don't think.
Yeah. Schuler, J. Carr says Schuler. Of course, J. Carr knows that. All right, Mason. I appreciate you calling in, brother.
Thanks, man. Congratulations on the kiddo again. Whoever that caller was, thank you for that little Christmas gift of signing day.
All right, thanks, brother. All right, we are going to 217. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Yes, sir. Hey, Mike. This is Ben from St. Louis. How you doing tonight?
Great place, man. Great place. I've been to St. Louis twice. Saw Gabriel Rubio and Jordan Johnson. And then I went and saw Jay Love when he was a senior. Ooh, he was electric. Great place. Love going into St. Louis.
A lot of good Catholic high school football down here. So, but yes, sir. Wanted to reach out. first time, long time, but wanted to ask you just about some potential flips down the road here. Obviously, we're on a heater right now. I think the icing on the cake here would be to flip some of Bowden's USC guys at the end of this cycle. So specifically looking at Kotoanga, that would be just the absolute cherry on top of the D-line class. And, like our linebacker, class so far, Thomas Davis is going to be a stud. I think the jury's still out a little bit on Clapper. I think he can, he's got some high upside, but maybe flipping an Ely or something like that. I think, I think Freeman might have something in his back pocket to really put the cherry on top of this class. Just want to get your thoughts on that.
Love it. So looking at USC's recruiting class, they do have like 350 defensive linemen committed. Like it's insane. They have so many. Catawanga, Notre Dame felt so good. I had a prediction in early on for him to land at Notre Dame. Then kid committed to Notre Dame. That's a really good shout because just his versatility to play 3 or 5 tech is similar to what I think Notre Dame will end up getting in Elijah Golden. Man, I feel like another true interior player. If Notre Dame would take a 5th, I think it would kind of be a guy to pair on the inside with Tiki Hola, like Alistair Viheo, who Notre Dame did not land to. Which that's like Notre Dame's last true recruiting loss, and that was a month ago. And from that was the end of May. No, that was early June before OVs. So it was like 3 weeks ago. At this time of year, to not have any recruiting losses and you're just landing everyone you want, it's truly been impressive.
Right.
Yeah, Catawanga still. If you would want in, you'd of course take him.
I just, in my opinion, Mike, he just feels like the one that got away and maybe committed a little too early, in my opinion. So I don't know, something to keep an eye on there. But I've also heard just on the Vallejo stuff. And I don't know how much, credence there is to this, but I heard he didn't want to play school too much. So it is, it is what it is there. I love this class. I mean, obviously top to bottom, that's what we've been talking about this whole chat. I mean, Primer just coming out of the blue today was, that's what we live for as recruiting followers. So felt a lot like a Mill Wagner for sure. But.
Yeah, in a way, for sure. Someone just said, is Braden Jones flippable? I mean, it's a Chicago Mount Carmel kid, like committed to USC. I don't think so. I don't think he's a flippable guy. I don't think Trent Mosley, Talanoa, don't think so. I mean, the thing about Samote is that like he is a Southern California kid committed to USC for a long time. I just have a hard time seeing that. I don't know. I don't think Notre Dame flips anybody from USC, to be honest with you, but who knows, man? Stranger things have happened.
He's the one I got circled for sure, Mike. Just want to get your thoughts on that. I appreciate it. You do a great job, and go Irish.
All right. You do a great job, brother. Thank you for calling in, Ben. All right. Someone asked a question. Can you evaluate the old process under Bowden, get them all early, a la USC, versus current new staff's approach, slow roll? The thing with this is, you got to remember, like this time of year and past classes with Bowden, Notre Dame would already have like 4 or 5 commits, right? But like Notre Dame wasn't really getting a lot of those early commitments when Bowden was here in the winter, right? It was like Faison, Grubbs, Garvin, Nichols. Was that it? Like 4 or 5? Like Notre Dame, they had already started that with Bowden. The whole, let's slow this down. Now, why he's doing it at USC, or I don't know. I don't know. But I can just tell you that they were already doing that with Bowden. but the process, dude, the process is whatever the hell works. Like what is best for this cycle? What is best for where things are at with your program? I think some years, like, dude, if Notre Dame gets rolling this fall, right? They beat A&M, they beat Miami. They're just cruising. And these elite 27s won in early. You take them, right? Notre Dame is got like a mindset of sorts for we are a hot commodity right now. Let's take all the guys we can get. So I think if you continue that and you got some guys who you know could pop to you and you feel like could stick, you take them early. So that's kind of my feeling on that. Fun show. We are going to end it there. You know, look, I never know what I'm getting when I do these call-in shows. You know, the last time I did a call-in show was January 14th. That would have been the Tuesday prior to the national title game. So it's been a bit, but we are here. There's no guarantee on when these are going to happen again. We skipped the six-pack show this week. Jack was on vacation. Now Kyle's on vacation, so I'm not doing the recruiting show tomorrow. But I was like, you know what? Let's give the people a second show this week. If you missed my show with Tim from last night, make sure you watch it. It was awesome. More great recruiting discussion. Yeah, our next live show will be that six-pack show next week. Okay. Show with Kyle tomorrow? No show. Jason, appreciate you for tuning in. It's my pleasure. Yeah, we're gonna call it there. Really, Irish Kobe says, yeah, I don't know if it's about timing as much as the recruiter's ready. Yeah, I mean, sometimes the recruit may be ready, he just doesn't know it yet. Like this stuff is very much on a case by case basis. I will tell you that. But yeah, hit the thumbs up if you haven't not done so yet. Subscribe to the Blue and Gold YouTube channel if you are new here. Go to blueandgold.com for so much more. And as always, folks, we will catch you next time.